Uh, chips, burger, and hot dog. I'm gonna be honest, and I like to eat junk food like chips. I eat junk food only once a week.
I don't really eat junk food that often, usually on special times, so that's probably a couple times a week.
I eat junk food around 4 times a week.
I eat at fast food restaurants like sometimes, not like all the time, not like constantly every day, like probably once a week. Cause since it's like to go or I don't have lunch, so I do that.
We all know that we're supposed to eat well to prevent heart disease and to prevent diabetes and all of these things. And this is drilled into us from a young age. But we know that especially when it comes to adolescents and children, their ability to make decisions because of the level that their brain is at in terms of development, their ability to make decisions using long-term goals and incentives is limited.
What is the general connection between food and mental health? Like what sort of symptoms could it have on a person?
We know for previous research conducted in the US mostly that there is a relationship between some mental health issues like loss of self-esteem, depression, or even stress.
Your body produces certain types of hormones, which are like stress hormones, and these can really affect how you either perceive things or how you your mood. So people will end up with either depression, anxiety, irritability, suicidal ideation, and for adolescents, they may be withdrawn from school. They may not be able to interact and perform well at school.
If you were to wake up in the morning and go to school with no breakfast because there was no breakfast at home that day, come 10:45, how are you feeling? Your stomach hurts, your blood sugar is going all over the place, you're getting irritable, you're tired. Then lunch comes along, maybe you have something for lunch, maybe you don't. Then you start to worry about supper, and then you're stressed about thinking about where supper is going to come from. And so without even going into anything scientific, you can just imagine that as an individual going through this on a regular basis, it's going to impact your mental well-being.
What exactly is food security?
So food security is basically defined as having enough food to eat, having adequate access to food. But I'll flip your question, and more importantly, food insecurity is the opposite of that. So not having enough access to enough food, and also a related concept of having an adequate quality of food. So you can have enough food, but in the early stages before an individual actually starts to restrict the amount of food that they eat, there's going to be changes in terms of what type of food that you eat. And usually food insecurity is related to poverty and not being able to afford food.
So a big factor in food insecurity is that individuals, families don't have sufficient income to feed the household, provide the household with sufficient, regular, nutritious food. And in communities such as Regent Park that are made up of large immigrant populations, we know that immigrants, when they come to Canada, they struggle with the language. They are overrepresented in low-paying jobs, and so that kind of situation then leads to a situation where acquiring nutritious food, we know that nutritious food is more costly than unhealthier options.
If you eat stuff like McDonald's every day, you'd get high cholesterol, blood pressure levels will go higher.
We all know that eating unhealthy food is fun, and that sometimes, as one of our participants said, it's just something that you do with your friends. You go to McDonald's.
Well, I think kids like junk food. The reason why they like junk food is because there's chemicals in it. They actually put chemicals to make you want more, like sugar, sodium, that they put some artificial flavors. Like, and then you want it more and more and more since you think it's good, right? But it's all just chemicals inside your body.
So for the most part, children and adolescents make decisions based on, you know, what's in front of them today, more short-term types of goals. So if you're choosing to eat something that's healthy because you want to change your risk of heart disease 25 years from now, that's not a very strong motivator when you're a kid. So what came out of our research was actually that some of the research participants had said that when they have a big exam coming up or they know they have a lot of work to do, that they'll tend to eat healthier during those times because they know that they're better able to focus. Or that times when they ate unhealthy, they felt tired and they weren't able to focus as well. They didn't want to get up and do things the same way. They didn't have as much energy. They felt guilty about the food that they were eating. So what came out of the research was that there were a lot of immediate consequences on well-being of eating unhealthy food.
So don't eat like McDonald's fat stuff, like greasy stuff. Like go to like Subway, order a sandwich with like tuna or ham and lettuce, tomatoes. You know, they got some stuff for under $20.